one of my take profit accounts. I've blown a plethora of them, right? As I know a lot of us probably have in the process, but on some of my more recent ones, there was one I had like almost 1,600 in drawdown. A lot of it was from either taking a loss or sometimes just a mechanical issue. Like maybe you tapped on a button more than once, right? And you were in more contracts than you were anticipating, as opposed to closing it out and calling it a mistake. You try to hold it, and sometimes it goes against you, right? Anyway, long story short, is the account was down about 1,600 or 16 to 1,700 in drawdown. So it was about $300 from blowing the account. Went back and just lowered my contract sizes and traded it. Sort of what helped me mentally as well is that because of that one account being down, that I didn't want to go tilt on that. I did add an additional account and already have some additional accounts that were a fresh start copy trading. I used my main account, the account that was in drawdown, as the main account that I was following or mirroring the other accounts. And then I was able to get it back into 300 plus in equity, just taking those small base hits, not over trading and whatnot. And then, some days you won bigger, and then the ones that you lost, instead of going back in there and trying to chase it, just count the small loss a loss. Or if the market is just choppy today, just leaving the day alone and, trying to pick up the next. So again, I guess my main point is if we go back to treating it like a business, because we don't have to, pass the accounts right away. It depends where you are, right? Like if, and if you have a strategy as far as to the madness and you're not trying to stay in the actual evaluations for a long time, as long as it's a plan and it makes sense, then that's cool. But again, if you are trying to do this for the long term and trying to maintain the accounts that are funded, then, this is a profession, and just trade it, take the basis like Janie is saying and what she's showing on this compound sheet, and it's going to add up over time. And the more accounts that you have, eventually you're going to be making thousands a day, and then those small moves are going to make you all the money that you need for the week.
Oh, 100%. Actually, you brought up something that I'm not going to lie, I know I need to do, is take the smallest account, the account that has the least buffer, and use that as my mirror versus the big one trying to mirror it, the rest to micros. But if I traded it that way, and it's something I've considered, I'm not going to fib to you and say I've implemented it because I haven't, but literally take whatever your smallest account is and use that as the one you're trading, mirroring everything else to that. You're definitely not going to blow the other ones, are you? So even if this one does mess up and you couldn't save it, you still have every other account, right? That strategy, I think, is sound. I think it's responsible. And I also think it teaches us so much discipline, like so much discipline. In a world where we've got 24-hour trading, 24-hour access to just never-ending, dopamine, and or it's really just distraction. Like it's something to do. It's something to feel productive, right? Humans are wired to feel productive, even if you don't think so. You are wired to feel like you're accomplishing something. So win, lose, or draw, believe it or not, clicking that button makes you feel productive. It makes you feel like you're doing something, you're actioning towards your goals, which clicking the button doesn't necessarily equal actioning towards your goals, but it does fulfill that mental and emotional, psychological need. So honestly, sorry, that's like two different things all in one. I think that's huge. Trade your smallest account and mirror to your bigger ones. Then you definitely are going to keep your bigger ones, number one. And number two, back off, a couple trades a day. Take the most successful people that you know. Most of them are not taking a bajillion trades a day. Most of them do not have 8,000 entries and 8,000 whatever. They have a couple of entries in a day. They win, lose, or draw. They're up or down, and then they go on with their life, and that's it. And I know that's not sexy. It's not. Trading isn't sexy. It's so much fun to talk about. Oh, I made 100%. Yeah, but that's usually over the course of a period of time. If you just look at your automation, you look at your whatever, okay, cool, I'm up, 500 on this week and I didn't have to work for that. Cool, hey, I'm up $1,000 on this week. I didn't have to work for that. It was a struggle. We had ups and downs. It really didn't make much. It made $30 or something. That's still not bad, because I don't know where else you guys are going to find a way to make $500 on the week without doing something. But if you find out, let me know, because I'm probably in it. I'm 100% into anything we can do hands-free, and then also being more disciplined manually. So but here we go. We're trying to roll back over again. But this is what I'm working on. We got our profits on the day. I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to stick with kind of mirroring between all the prop firms. I just think it's great. You can have a month that's mostly green, and then of course you can have 1 or 2 months that you're wrong or you were losing. That's fine, and those are digestible. But the problem with the mirroring big time is if something glitches, you've got your green days, you've got your 2 or 3 or 4 personal that you took losses days, and then you have 2 or 3 or 4 the system took losses days, and usually that's a little bit more of a cost than you can afford with all the different stuff. So I'm gonna see, my next thing I'm gonna try probably is just mirroring micros to micros and doing it that way, which might help, versus minis to micros, which I think is causing a certain level of complexity that I think that part at least would be digestibly fixed. So we'll see.